Okay.
Hi, very good morning. My name is Ankit. I work in Singapore and working for Totally Biz Solutions as a project lead. Okay, so thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak at this session, and I thank the community members, my colleagues, and my friends for voting me out. Okay, so today what I will be speaking about is integration between CRM and Business Central. So both actually comes inside Dynamics, inside the family of Dynamics, where CRM forms the sales part of it, where I will be speaking about that, and thereafter we'll see how this Business Central is integrated with. First, I'm going to speak about how and why, and what is the need for this integration. Okay, and then we'll slowly move on to the different configurations, different setups, and in the end, we can go give a demo to that. I'll show you some screens and some demo about the flow. Okay, and if you have any questions during the session, you can write down in the chat, and in the end, I'll definitely be answering your questions. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so what's the agenda for today? So it's first I'll be speaking about the need for integration. That's the introduction of it. And then the different components that are there, like the components involved in this integration. The data process flow, how the data flows from one system to another. The steps for enabling this integration. Some key points to note. And then finally, we'll have the demo. Okay, so my name is Ankit. I am a Microsoft certified professional and MCT. I've been working in IT over 9 years, and I have experience in sales, customer service, marketing, and recently started over Business Central. And I'm working as a project lead in Totally Biz Solutions Singapore. Okay, so let's see what's the need for integration. Okay, so for wherever we have, this different sales coming into picture, the different salespersons selling the different products. After the selling is done, definitely you need to account that for in your accounting system. So that's where the need comes in, because finance usually will have a lot of orders, lot of invoices that they need to process by the end of the day or the end of the month. Okay, so integrating these two systems becomes very crucial for them. So whenever the sales is done, these corresponding receipts, the orders and invoices should be processed in an accounting system. So the salespersons actually need to maintain the customer base, need to maintain the relationship in the CRM system, and then all the sales that are done needs to be transferred to the accounting system. Okay, so when the data flowing between the CRM and accounting system, with this data being flown, what you can do is the sales rep can perform all the entire engagement in the CRM, and then the integration can help fulfill these orders or process these orders and do the accounting respectively in the accounting system. Okay, so in today's session, what I'm going to show you is two systems, that is Dynamics 365 for sales and Dynamics 365 Business Central. So with these two systems integrating, we'll show you the different steps over there. Okay, so again, Dynamics 365 Business Central is for small mid-sized organizations who can actually need to maintain the financial, sales and receivables and payables, etc. Okay, this flow that I'm going to show you would be sort of standard integration, where we try to do the minimum configuration, and again, you can extend it as per your requirement. Okay, so we'll show you what I'm going to show you is the different steps, how the flow happens, what are the different components required, and then finally we'll see a demo in the later of the session. Okay, so sales rep, again, one beautiful part of it is, when there are different customers and organizations available, so what they do is, they have the different credit balances, they have the different invoices and order summary, everything inside the Business Central. Okay, so these information can be seen in CRM as well for the sales rep who's handling CRMs to handle the account statistics correctly. Okay, so now we'll just see slowly what are the different components in it. Okay, so first is the account. Now, account is mostly, the organizations who are actually buying products from you. Okay, so different organizations across, would like to take services, would like to buy products from you. That's where the account customer base is. Okay, so account is named inside CRM and the customer is termed in Business Central. Okay. The contacts are individuals. Okay, so in both systems we maintain the contacts and we tag the contacts to the respective accounts. Okay, Products. So products, it's not only the tangible products, there are services that acts as products which you can sell across customers. Like you want to provide some cleaning services. If you're an organization who provides some cleaning services or any kinds of services that are non-tangible in nature, these kinds also form as service items inside the system. Okay, so product is what is termed inside CRM, and the same component you will see item inside Business Central. Price list, again, as the name says, each product need to be tagged to a price, and that's how the selling happens. Okay, and different price lists, you can tag different customers with different price lists. Okay, so that you can have different kinds of customers, local, overseas customers, having the different price list accordingly. Okay. Now, sales rep and person. So salespersons are the person who are actually providing the quotation, working on the different opportunities, and then working with the quotation and sending it to the customer, and after the confirmation, processing their order. So definitely the salesperson are the main key users of the system, and that's very important inside this integration component. Okay. Sales quotation. So whenever a sales rep tries to prepare a quotation for a customer, he will provide all the different items, like what are different products and services required, and they are going to provide certain discounts as per required, and then finally submitting the quotation to the customer. And once the quotation is finalized by the customer, that's where the sales order is prepared. So you prepare the sales order telling that this customer requires this kind of services and products, and then you work with the sales order there. So in both systems, it's termed that's the same, CRM and BC. Then finally, the sales invoice is created. So this is where the invoice is sent to the customer for the payment. And as soon as the payment is done by the customer, that's where you see the receipt. Okay, so this is the entire components that we are going to go through today, and we'll see how the integration works. Okay, so there are two kinds of data. One is the master data, other is the transactional data. Okay, so master data accounts for the different type of master transactions that are going on, master components, like accounts and customers and contacts. So if you see here, accounts inside, left side you will see the sales part, and the right side you will see the Business Central part. Okay, so accounts actually form the organizations that we have seen, and that's linked to customer inside Business Central. Similarly, contacts are same. The contacts inside BC and contacts inside CRM are the same. Okay, products. So products and items, that's what we discussed and checked earlier on when we were discussing the components. So the products form inside CRM is actually items inside BC. Okay. Price list. So price list would be, again, the tags that we spoke about, the different services cost that needs to be configured inside the system for the salesperson to actually work on that. And finally, the sales rep and the sales users. So this is again a mapping that can be done with the sales representative. Okay. Okay, now we come to the transactional data. So this is just a high level. There can be other components involved. So what's important in the integration between them is the quotation. So the quotation, if you see, the direction is from left to right. So the quotation is created inside sales and it is passed to Business Central as well. So again, when you are designing this architecture of this data flow, you can configure such that the quotation don't go to Business Central. You can just see that until the quotation is finalized and the order is created, then it goes to Business Central. So that can be configured inside the system. Then you have the sales orders. So after the quotation is finalized by the customer, that's when we convert the quotation into a sales order. Okay, sales order is created, and then you submit that sales order to Business Central. So that's where the direction is from left to right. And finally, the sales order is processed inside BC, because that's where the fulfillment is done, whether it's tangible or intangible. Tangible like the product shipment and other things are done, and that's where the order fulfillment is done. And finally, the sales invoice is created, and this sales invoice is actually flowing back to CRM, into the CRM invoice entity or table, and the sales rep can see the different invoice there. Okay, so that's high level on how the data mapping is done between the master and the transactional. Again, just a reminder, if you have any questions, please do type into the chat. Maybe later on, after the session, after this demo is done, we'll definitely go through that. Okay, thank you. Okay, now let's see the overall data flow. And this is the very important slide that I would say, because it forms the entire, how sales rep, what are the journey that the sales rep goes through, and how the transactions are processed in Business Central. Okay, so if you see, on the top is sales, on the bottom is Business Central. Okay, and in between is Dataverse, that is a connector between them. Okay, we have some master components like customer, contact, products, currency, price list. Okay, so these are the master, and the transactional will be quote, orders, again lines are there, products are there, and definitely the invoices. Okay, so if you see the direction between the account and the contact, that's the first part. Okay, so if you see, account and contact are bi-directional. So what we are doing is, the synchronization can happen both way. Okay, but what happens, right, when you design this architecture of any CRM and BC, we should understand where the master lies and what the slave is, and that's where you need to define the integration conditions of, which data should flow here, which data should come back here. And again, this is also important, is because you don't end up in synchronization errors. So what usually happens is, suppose the data is updated in both side, and the job has not updated yet. Okay, the system will not process the transaction telling that even CRM is updated and BC is also updated, which data to take care of. So we should actually try and architect it correctly, so that data flow is is as required, and there's less synchronization errors. Okay, so that's where the account and contact is bi-directional. You can do that. If you see the product, the best proposal is, product should be created in Business Central, and that should be navigated to and transferred to CRM. There's a very basic reason for that. Is what happens, right? Each product is tagged to different posting groups and different GL accounts and different types of financial configuration inside Business Central. And these products, again, there will be different kinds of products, there will be different kinds of services. So these kinds of configuration should be done inside Business Central, and this product should be transferred to CRM. Okay, so that the product configuration is done, and once these products are passed from CRM to BC, there is no error in some missing configuration, missing posting groups and all. Okay, so product is the master is Business Central, and that passed to product inside CRM. Okay, and the price list will also go together. There will be a default price list that will be passed to CRM as well. Now, next is the quotation and order. So I'll go through the flow first on the sales cycle, how it happens, and then we'll see how Business Central is processing that. Okay, so as normal CRM sales, right? So you will have the lead where the lead you are getting different inquiries, and you are processing the different leads. You qualify the lead. If they are okay, then you process them into an opportunity, right? You qualify the lead into an opportunity. So this is the opportunity stage where you add the different services that the customer wants. Okay, their needs that the customer wants. Okay, they want this kinds of products and this kinds of services, and this is the price list that we are tagging to the customer. Based on that, we are going to add the different opportunity product. So until now, lead and opportunity, we are just using the masters here. That is the account, contact, and product and price list. Okay, so we are at the opportunity stage where we are actually just added what the customer needs to buy. Okay, now for the opportunity inside CRM, we are going to create a quotation. Okay, so the quotation is created, and the different products are being transferred from opportunity into quotation now as quote products. So quotation is created there with the different prices set up in the previous stage. Now, this quotation, you have an option in the configuration whether you want to actually send this quotation to Business Central or not. So you can stop your process here. Like suppose the quotation is finalized, you want to send it to BC, and then you can create the sales order from behind. From BC creates the sales order, create the invoice, and sends the invoice back to CRM. You can do that as well. So you have two flexibilities. Either you stay at the quotation level inside CRM, submit that quotation to Business Central so that this quotation is processed inside Business Central as orders and invoices. However, you can design to do another step as well. You take the quotation and you convert that into a sales order inside CRM. Okay, so quotation is there. You activate the quotation, then you create an order from that quotation inside CRM. So you can choose to skip the quotations being sent to Business Central. That's again your choice. Again, depends on the business functionality that you want. I would prefer quotation to be in CRM. And once the quotation is finalized and order is finalized, we send it to Business Central. Okay, and we'll see the reason for that as well during the end when we see the different takeaways and the points to note. Okay, so after the quotation is converted, activated, and order is created from that quotation. So if you see, the order is at active stage now. So order is active and the order is still there inside CRM. Okay, so this order needs to be submitted. There's a submit order that we'll be seeing during the demo. The submit order is going to submit that sales order to Business Central for the further processing. Okay, so that's where until the sales order is what CRM should be handling. That's the proposed way. CRM is coming there and creating the orders and processing the orders and then submitting the orders to Business Central for the different processing of invoices. So order comes in to BC, and that's where you see the sales order being updated inside BC. It's being processed. Invoice is created, and finally the invoice is sent to CRM back. Okay, so this is the high level data flow. Okay, and when we go through the demo, we'll definitely see the different components of it. Now let's see the integration steps. So this we have just completed the introduction, and let's see the integration step on what should be done prior to doing the entire setup. Okay, so what are the prerequisites? So definitely it's very important that they should be of the same base currency. Both Business Central and CRM should be of the same base currency. Like when you configure a CRM instance, you will have a base currency. Suppose you configure as USD, Business Central local currency should also be USD. Then only you can configure both of them. That's first. And second, you definitely need the global admin credentials for CRM as well as BC, you will definitely have the admin credentials. Okay. So in terms of steps of creating the different environments and creating the different configurations between the two, first is we have to enable the Dataverse connection inside BC. So most of the setups will be done inside BC. So first we have to enable the Dataverse connection inside BC. Then we will configure the Dynamics 365 connection inside BC again. So there are two steps of connection that we'll be doing inside Business Central. And then finally, we'll go with the, the different components that has come. We'll see the table mapping. You will see the direction. We'll see, which column is mapped to what. And then you can update that as per your requirement. And this is again the configuration inside Business Central. And for demo purpose, what we are going to do is we'll create an initial synchronization between CRM entities and records. So why this is required is, suppose, if you have to process a customer. So what I did, I have already synchronized the master data. So what we spoke, right? We spoke about price list or products and customers. So these products and customers I have already synchronized. So that's the basic synchronization you need to do for you to start the integration. You can definitely, start it fresh as well, as in when you are going to do the different integration. Okay, so what I did is I have done a few setups because it's going to take a lot of time for the configuration. So this is the sample Business Central instance. Okay, we have created a demo environment of Business Central, and the local currency is USD. Okay. And similarly, I created that of Dynamics 365 for sales, and I have installed the Sales Enterprise, the Sales Hub as well inside this, so that the integration can be facilitated. Now, that's the first step that I did earlier, is Dataverse connection setup. Okay, so that's the first step, Dataverse. So here what you will need is you'll just need the environment URL and the global admin credentials for CRM instance, whichever tenant it is. It can be same tenant, it can be different tenant as well. So that's my environment URL if you see here. And then I'll just enter the URL and then click on enable. Okay, so what's going to happen is a pop-up is going to come, and where it will ask you for the admin credentials. So you enter the admin credentials of CRM. Okay, and then thereafter what's going to happen, you need to wait for some time for the different setups to happen, and then finally the setup will be completed and it's going to be enabled. So that's the first step, where the Dataverse connection is enabled. So you have connected the Business Central in this tenant, or the same tenant, the CRM as well. So it can be different tenant as well as same tenant. So you see the different versions, and you will have certain other configurations. So after doing this, after the Dataverse connection is done, there will be certain things that has happened. Okay, so if you go back to CRM, then you will see that there will be a managed solution that has been imported already by the user that was used. Okay, while providing the credentials there. So if you see this Business Central Business Central integration solution has been imported into this. And secondly, you will see certain application users and teams created. So this user is an application user that facilitated this initial synchronization, initial connection, and then the user will be used for integrating between the two systems. Okay. And finally, in Business Central, there's a table called table called integration table mapping, and it's part of where you set up the connection. So here you will see that the contacts, the basic Dataverse fields like contact, customer, the vendors, the payment terms. This will be actually set up by default. So if you see here, we'll have the table source table, and we'll have the integration table. So it's connected to the Dataverse contact, Dataverse account, so different components of that. That's how it's connected, and we'll have the direction as well. And that shows that how you want to configure. You can anytime edit this list, and you can update this direction accordingly, whether it's this side or this way or bi-directional. Okay. And that's happened when you have just configured the Dataverse connection. Okay. So after this, what we have to set up the Dynamics 365 connection. Okay. So if you search inside Business Central, the Dynamics 365 connection, here, this information will already be there. You just need to enable this. Okay. If you click on enable, again, it's going to take another few minutes. Okay. And then finally, this will be enabled. Okay, so now what has happened, the second connection setup has been done to enable the sales entities in the integration table mapping. So earlier you just saw accounts, you just saw contacts, okay, and then finally, now you have the sales entities, and we'll see that shortly. Okay, so below, if you see, there is something called a Dynamics 365 sales settings. The first checkbox is the sales order integration, where you are enabling the sales order integration. And second is, I know it's hidden slightly, but it's automatically create sales orders. So how this works is, as soon as the sales order is submitted from CRM to Business Central, it goes to a staging. Okay, that's called Dynamics 365 orders. Inside BC, you can see the staging table. Now that staging that is there, inside that staging, you can have a process that is a job queue. If you enable this, it's going to automatically create those orders that are there inside the staging table into the sales order inside Business Central. Okay, so this is a small setup that can help you automate this process. But there are a few customers who prefer not to automatically create. They want to review, and then they want to process it. Okay, to create the sales orders. Okay. So that's what I did. I just enabled this two part, so that, the sales order integration between CRM and BC is successful. Now, this is what I was telling earlier. Earlier we saw only the Dataverse, tables inside this being connected CRM and, Dataverse. Now, if you see, there are other things that have come. If you see the customer price, the item product means item inside BC is tagged to the CRM product. Then opportunity is also there, product sales order. So these are the different other entities that has now been enabled just after doing this, setup of Dynamics 365 connection. Okay. So again, it's the same. The direction is here. The integration fields is here. And then you'll have the table filter. So this table filter, you can actually configure in such a way that you can take only active, having some other conditions. So, it depends on how you want to use it. So currently I'm using just a default one for now. Now this is a very important, setup of coupling and mapping. Okay. So whenever we are trying to integrate two systems, something that is very important we should understand is who is the source of the data, who's the master. And that's where this mapping needs to be done. Okay, that's the first part. You are telling that, okay, the direction should be from this to this. So the source of all my customers are CRM. So I'm going to put the direction from CRM to BC. Okay, and you can also slightly extend that integration so that if it's coming from BC to CRM, only specific accounts are getting synchronized. So that can be extended again. So that's the first part. That is the mapping. And second, there's something called as coupling. Okay. So what has been provided here is, is everything is not auto created. Okay, there's something called as coupling. Okay, so either you can choose that whatever you create here, just create it there. Okay, like suppose items. Okay, so item, is not going to create overnight. Okay, so definitely, it's not every time synchronization you should do for the items. Okay, so item, suppose it's created, that's it. Next time when the item comes, you can manually couple them and tell them, okay, couple it to a new record inside CRM. That's what the coupling means. Okay, so there are two reasons for coupling. Is you couple this particular, if there are product existing in both the system for now. Okay, just take an example. So you can couple this product to this product inside CRM. Okay, that's one reason for coupling. Okay, and second is, if you want to manually control the creation of the master data across. Okay, so that's where the coupling comes into picture. We'll see that in a short moment. So what I will do is, for my initial setup, what I have done is there's a setup called sync only couple records. Okay, so this means is only the records that are coupled are going to synchronize, whatever direction has been set up. I have removed that for unit of measure, product, and customer, because I want them to always, integrate and pass. And I did an initial synchronization for them also, for me to, show some transactions right now. Okay, so it has to be in this sequence, because unit of measure should be synchronized before the item is done, because item contains unit of measure. This unit of measure is tagged to a unit group inside the CRM. Okay, so first the unit of measure should be passed, synchronized, then the item product should be synchronized, and finally the customer should be synchronized. Okay, so that's what, we once we are synchronizing, we should ensure that the previous one is completed so that we are doing the next one. Okay, so this is what I was telling. So in the integration table mapping, you can use this edit list to actually remove this coupling here. So if you see this sync only couple records was tick here, I just removed that so that I can just do a free away synchronization. So, any kind of accounts that is created will synchronize. Okay, I unticked this. And then finally, another thing I did a synchronization. So I just selected unit of measure here. I selected synchronization and clicked on run full synchronization. Okay, so that's where you are actually synchronizing this unit of measure, as well as the price list, as well as the products, as well as the customer. So that's where you have configured the initial mapping. Okay, that's it. So now we'll go to the demo. Just before going to the demo, just few important takeaways from now. Okay, so we should one thing that we saw that we should define where which is the source of data, where the data is coming from, and then we have to define the data flow accordingly. Okay, data flow and integration mapping that we saw just now. Then we saw that we should have the base currency of BC as well as CRM same. Okay, sorry, local currency of BC as well as base currency of CRM. And something that is, our recommendation is, we should use the standard, amount discount calculation that is there inside CRM, so that, the standard integration is not tweaked. So suppose you are doing some random calculation or customization in the pricing inside sales order inside CRM, please ensure to update the integration mapping accordingly, integration mapping, and extend the existing logic inside BC. Okay. Now, another important takeaway is, once the orders and quotation are submitted to BC, okay, if there is any change in that, it usually doesn't come back. Okay, the synchronization is one way, and that's what we propose. So we should ensure that appropriate validations and processing are done at the target side as well. Suppose, what we would do is, suppose I'm just finalizing and submitting the order from CRM once it is finalized completely. So this order will go there, and then I'll write a job queue or whatever job queue and a code unit that will actually automatically process and post this order and create the invoice, so that there is no manual intervention. So that's kinds of automation should be done, and processes should be defined for that. Okay, so finally, let's see the demo now. Okay, so just a quick one. Yep, here it is. So this is my CRM instance, where you see that I have synchronized a few accounts and customers. So this is by Datum Corporation customer that is synchronized. If you see, this is the owner, that's the user created. Okay, user from BC who has created. And this is the customer that has been synchronized. And one beautiful part about this is, we'll see that later in Business Central, is the information about this Business Central. What is the balance? How many orders outstanding? Everything is synchronized in a view here. So anytime if a sales rep, I as a sales rep want to know that, if this account has paid all the dues, definitely I can see everything here. How much is the due and how much is the, the credit limits, or how much is the balance for them. Okay, so how much is the orders that are not processed. So this is a very important view that this integration provides. Okay, that's the accounts. Okay, similarly we have the products. So I have synchronized all the different products. 20 products were there in BC. I just moved them, synchronized them to CRM. Okay, so each product will be tied, as we know, to a default price list. So a different price list will be created, a default price list from Business Central. But again, you are flexible enough to create your own price list inside CRM, based on different requirement, and you can just pass the amount to BC. So, you won't have a problem. Okay. So this is the price that has passed from BC to CRM, and that's the price that is the list price inside Business Central. Okay, that's the second integration. Okay, and definitely the unit group and unit of measure, the pieces and all coming from Business Central. Okay, so that's the first part of it that we saw CRM. Okay, next is the Business Central. So as we saw, right, these are the 5 customers here in BC. We have the different statistics provided here, and this information actually synchronized to CRM. Okay, so that's the Business Central customer card. And finally, I'll go to my items. So just a minute. If I see my items here inside Business Central, so you will have these different 20 items here that has been already synchronized to BC with an inventory on hand. So if you see that, Amsterdam lamb is 6 and, conference table is 10. So these are some items that are tangible, again, that has the inventory setup. You can have service items as well, as part of services that you're doing. So again, I want to show you one more thing that is called as integration table mapping. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, so this is what I was showing you earlier, the different contacts here, the different items that has been mapped with the integration table, which table it is, the products, opportunity, invoice and all, right? And then finally, you can actually extend this, add extra fields as well. So if I open a customer card, I can see this field here, mapping, and then you can see the field. And this will show the different fields that are mapped. So each field inside BC, how it is mapped with CRM. Okay, so this is one that is there for the customer. Second, what I showed you was the synchronization, right? So the customer synchronization or the product synchronization that it did earlier, you can actually see from this integration table mapping with the synchronization logs. So integration sync logs are there, and here you will see how much has success, how much has been failed, and how it is. So if you see earlier, I synchronized 5 yesterday night. So 5 is here, and that has been already synchronized successfully. And then there was another one not changed. So any kinds of changes that has been doing here. Okay, so these are the synchronization jobs. So each can have a synchronization job exactly. Okay, and this time can be defined. These job queues are there, which where you can define each synchronization, what duration. Like for customer, if you want to check every half an hour, you can do that. For sales order, if you want to check every 1 hour, you can do that. So based on that, you can configure the job queues, and these integration will be automatically processed. Okay, so that's a high level setup. Let's quickly, within few minutes, let's do a run through of the entire flow from CRM until Business Central. Okay, so let me start with an opportunity. So you receive an leads. Okay, you can start with leads as well. So you suppose you received an inquiry from a customer. Okay, that's telling that he's interested in a product. Okay, interested in the lamp. Okay, Okay, here I'm telling Ankit, and here is my name. Okay, that's it. So I'll just proceed with the minimum one so that, you know, I can just go to that. So that's where you have just saved the lead. And lead, after you qualify and you contact the lead, they are like, okay, they want to proceed forward. Then you will proceed to create an opportunity. Okay, so it's actually being created. Just a minute. Yep. So I'll just proceed to qualify this to an opportunity. Here is the opportunity. So I didn't select an account. So maybe let me select an existing account so that I can quickly show you the integration. So here is the existing account that I want to use. And the product that he was interested was a lamp. Okay, so I definitely select a price list that is configured. I'm using the default one, that is a Business Central price list. And I'll just add a product here. Telling it's an existing product. I want to take lamp, Amsterdam lamp. Okay. And the unit of measure and the price is automatically come. You can definitely have the flexibility to override, or you can control as per your business requirement. Okay. So here is the price that is set up. So that's what the customer requested for. And that's the opportunity ready. Beautiful thing is, if you see this quantity on hand, so this 6 is actually being synchronized from from Business Central. So you have the quantity in hand of 6 that has been synchronized. Can you see this? So that's, so immediately, you know, as a sales rep, I know whether this item is available at stock or not. Okay, that's a beautiful part of it. Okay, next, you know, I'll just quickly create this quotation with all the details populated. It's a standard CRM, all the details populated, the quantity on hand here, the products here, the item quantity and price, everything here. And then I'm going to activate this quotation. So at this moment, if you see this is active, since I have enabled Business Central as well. So if I just search Dynamics 365, and then here you can search for orders. So let me just quickly see whether we have quotation. Sorry, if you see the sales quotation, that quotation should be shown here. Okay, so because the quotation, this is the staging that I'm inquiring. So if you see this, interested in lamp is there with the status as active. Earlier 2 was 1. So this is the staging that I'm doing. I'm not processing the quotation inside Business Central. I'm just showing you the integration, actually showing the value inside the staging already. Okay. I'll just create an order for this. I'll just tell, okay, it's 1, I've won this order, and then finally, okay. So again, you know, this status will change to 1. That's pretty standard. I'll just move on to the next step here. That is the order created, and it's still, you know, active and new. So it is not yet submitted to Business Central. So if you have enabled this integration, this is a button that you will see that is called submit order, that has been enabled by this integration. Because, you know, earlier when Business Central is not integrated and CRM is acting as a standalone system, you can just directly, you know, confirm the order or fulfill the order and cancel the order. Here's no order fulfillment, because order fulfillment is done at Business Central level. Okay, so currently is active and new. So if I come here quickly to see whether this order has been coming here or not. So if I come here, sales order, I have just created a bookmark, and there's nothing here to show, right? Because there are no sales orders that are to be processed. If I click on submit order here, so everything is okay. If a customer is okay, I'll just click on submit order. The status will change to in progress and submitted. Okay, so if I come back to Business Central here, so it's going to actually show me this order that has been passed from CRM to Business Central staging. So it is still at the staging level. Okay, so here is the order. Now, if you remember, during the initial setup we did was we are auto creating the sales orders. But again, that's a time, there's a duration when the job queue runs. So I won't wait for that. I'll process it manually for now. So this is the sales order. If you see, the customers and everything are same, and we'll have an option called create in Business Central. So if you have not enabled the auto processing, The create in Business Central is not required. It will automate. Sorry, that then it's required. You need to come here and go to the staging and then create the Business Central orders. Okay. So if everything is okay, I'll just create this in BC to convert this sales order from staging into a Business Central sales order. So meanwhile, it is getting converted. Let's see the status in the backend there. It should be same as submitted as in progress because it's not yet processed. So if I come here and see this quickly, the status is going to be submitted and in progress. So this is the sales order created. This is the sales order that has been passed. And finally, you will see the status as submitted and in progress. Now, let me quickly post it to show you the status transition between both. So I'm going to ship and invoice both. You can do a partial shipment and everything, but accordingly, the status will change. So I'm doing a full shipment and full invoicing here right now. Okay, so that's where the posted invoices come. So you can open the posted invoices. You can see the different status here, and this invoice will be passed to CRM. Okay, so that's the entire end-to-end integration. You can quickly create this invoice manually. For now, I'm just creating it manually for me to see this invoice. So if you see this invoice currently is invoiced, the order status, and finally you will see the invoice being processed in CRM here. Okay, so the status is active and new. So later, you can apply the receipts, then the status is going to change accordingly. Okay. So that's all, about the end-to-end, flow of CRM. Okay. And I am actually, open to questions. So thank you so much, DynamicsCon, for giving me this opportunity to present. And yeah, I'm open to live Q&A. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'll just take in a few questions that was asked in the chat. Okay, so first part is about the customizations and what kind of fields you can integrate. So whenever we are integrating CRM and BC, right? So in Business Central, usually where I've seen the very common scenario is you need to actually pass on some defaulting like dimensions, whether it's department or business. They will have different global dimension and shortcut dimensions that you need to pass at the order level or the order line levels. And also there is something called as VAT product posting group inside the order line. So that needs to be passed so that the taxation is correctly applied in Business Central. So what we do, we can definitely extend this. We can add different fields. Okay, so like for dimensions, what we usually do is we can create an entity to store the dimensions. Okay, and the lookup value, just pass it into the order line or the orders, and yeah, you can put the business logic inside CRM to auto populate the information inside that sales order lines or sales order headers. And then in Business Central, basically the main customization needs to be done to fetch the information from the correct tables and and try to populate it to the respective fields inside or dimensions inside the BC. Very important thing to notice is that if you have added some custom entities and some custom entities for it, so what you need to ensure is there's a Business Central user that is created, right? You need to give the access of that entity, otherwise the integration will fail. Okay, so this is for the entities. And fields, definitely you can add checkboxes, you can add date time, we can add those information in the sales order header and line, and that can be extended over there. So that's part about whether it can be done. Yes, it can be done, but automation part of creation of fields, everything you can do in CRM, but it's always a pull from Business Central, because Business Central has job queues that are scheduled to synchronize this information to CRM. So the main code logic of mapping this information to the what do we call Business Central fields should be done inside Business Central customizations. Okay. So another question is about legal entities. So, this is a very interesting question. And recently I actually, from my personal experience, was discussing with one of my customers where, they had different legal entities and how to handle inside Business Central. So what I understand is, legal entities are created as different different, companies inside BC. So each company, okay, can be connected to the CRM. Okay, so you'll have one CRM and you can connect each company to the CRM. Okay, so one CRM connected to multiple companies inside BC. And when we are doing that, what do we call the integration, so we have to add that filter. Not so you can actually store the business unit. Suppose in CRM you are creating business units as different legal entities, and in BC you are creating different companies as legal entities. Okay, so what you can do is, from CRM side, whenever the integration or synchronization happen, you can add the filter of the business unit, so that if any order is created inside business unit A, should go to legal entity and not legal entity B, or the company and company B. So this kind of setup, definitely it's possible, and that's the way I was discussing with one of my customers, how to handle this sort of integration. Okay, so that's the second part. And yes, so I'll just see one other question. And in BC, so okay, I think so. That's all. I had noted that down. Can we sync between two systems? Can custom fields be synced? I think so. I answered that already. And yeah, I think so. That's all for my Q&As that I have noted down. Yeah, thank you so much. So if I don't know if I can take any more questions or not. Yeah, integration table management, there's a change in direction. So yeah, so hey, so I just saw a question where in integration table mapping you mentioned that if there is a change in direction. Yes, we have worked definitely. So what happens is, initially the customers, usually we mentioned this as bi-directional, but for one of our clients that we were working for, it was told that you can actually, they want the customers to come from the sales guys, that is CRM, and just push to BC, and they should do some defaulting for the customer posting group, so that these the defaulting happens in the sales order as well, for the different accounts as well, the GL and the receivables accounts. So what we have done, we had changed the direction of the customer sync to direction from integration table, means from CRM to business central. So what happened, right, the transfer of these customers didn't go from BC to CRM. So that definitely can be configured. Or if you or if there are few customers who actually say that they want to control the accounts, so that they create the account only in business central, and that should be synchronized to CRM. So yeah, that's definitely possible. You can change the direction and you can do that as well. So okay, there's another question I will take. That's the last one. I have just a couple of minutes. So yeah, uh, so yeah, just a couple of minutes more. So basically, there is a question that says that, is the synchronization done via queue or a pseudo real time? So see, there's something called as job queues inside BC, and you can schedule it. So you should schedule it to determine the load. It's near real time, or it can be slightly delayed, but usually we prefer to have it in a 30 minutes slot, like in a frequency of 30 minutes. So you can do that accordingly, so that based on the customer, like suppose customer synchronization happens, and the orders are not yet created, so we can define the approach on how the synchronization should happen. Like first the customer runs so that it gets synchronized, then you have the orders coming in so that the orders can be created, and yeah, so this can be handled in the job queues itself. Okay. Okay, so when you set up the integration, a user gets created in CE. Once I had a failed integration where fixing the integration user from non-interactive, I can switch back to. I don't know what scenario is that, but what happens is, when we are setting an integration, an application user gets created in customer this thing. Okay. In customer engagement CRM. So what happens is, that is definitely an integration user. So okay, so it was fixed by changing the integration user from non-interactive to admin. I have not faced. Maybe I'll check this. Okay, so this scenario, I'll just check this. Okay, so I have few more minutes, so I can just take it. Just give me. I'll just see few questions in there. Okay, I'll take Donna's question. So basically, she mentioned that in BC there was a column that says coupled to indicate whether syncing in BC. We saw the order in BC, but it wasn't coupled. Okay, so I'll tell you what it means. Okay, so that coupled means actually sync only coupled records. Okay, so that's something. is important. So what happens, as I mentioned during the session, maybe earlier that was cut off. So if you want seamless integration end to end, a lot of any records getting created, suppose any products getting created should be integrated here immediately, without users going to tick manually. Then we'll untick the value called sync only coupled records. So what happens, right? It will automatically do the syncing, and you are not coupling it manually. Now if you have scenarios where you need to just you need to just uh, transfer or do the connection to the different transfer the data from one system to other, and that you are handling it manually, so that if you couple this record, then only it should be synchronized. That's where the sync only couple records feature works. Okay. So, and I think so that's all I have answered. I hope you maybe any more questions, I will take it. I think so I'm done with my time. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, DynamicsCon, and thanks Molly and team, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity.